The strange thing about overthinking is that it never announces itself. It doesn't thunder. It whispers a tiny question, a small uncertainty, a harmless what if that grows teeth. And suddenly, 5 minutes of hesitation become 5 hours of mental spirals. You've lost a day without leaving your chair. You know this moment. Everyone does. The war between the mind you control and the mind that controls you. This is a story about the day. I finally noticed the difference. It started on an ordinary morning, the kind where sunlight feels too bright, as if it's judging you for waking up late. I sat at my desk, staring at a task I'd been avoiding for weeks. Nothing huge, just a form, a message, a simple thing. But my mind began its usual routine. What if I ruin it? What if I choose wrong? What if I regret it? Each thought pulling me deeper, as if someone kept hitting zoom in on a picture until all that remained were the flaws. I didn't lift a finger. I didn't move. Overthinking had wrapped both hands around my brain, squeezing until even the smallest decision felt like choosing between parallel universes. It's bizarre how the mind pretends hesitation is safety. But that morning, something cracked open. Not like an epiphany, more like a quiet realization. I wasn't afraid of the task. I was afraid of the version of myself who might fail. And that fear had built a cage so subtle I didn't even know I was living inside it. I remember whispering to myself, I can't keep doing this, not out of frustration, but grief, because I could feel time slipping through my fingers. The way sand escapes, no matter how tightly you hold it. So I made a promise. One more attempt. One tiny experiment. 5 minutes. That's all, 5 minutes, where I wouldn't try to finish the task. I wouldn't try to be brilliant. I wouldn't try to be fearless. I would only try to begin. And something unexpected happened. When you give your mind permission to start, not succeed, to start, the fear loses its throne. For the first minute, my thoughts still screamed. They warned me, distracted me, replayed every past failure like a highlight reel of the worst moments. But I didn't argue back. I let the thoughts be noise, like traffic outside a window. By minute 2, a quiet calm appeared. Not confidence, just absence of panic. Enough space to breathe, enough space to think. By minute 3, I realized the task wasn't the monster. The monster was the story I'd been telling myself about the task by minute 4. The once terrifying action became simply doable by minute 5. I was already working, and for the first time in months, I didn't feel like I was drowning in my own mind. Something inside me shifted that day. Not a dramatic transformation, a subtle doorway opening. A feeling that maybe the problem wasn't that I was broken. Maybe I'd just been trying to conquer a mountain in one step, and that's the entire system. 5 minutes of permission instead of pressure. But the deeper truth came later, because when I used the 5-minute system again and again, I noticed a pattern. Overthinking isn't caused by the complexity of life. It's caused by the weight of imagined outcomes. The mind tries to protect us from embarrassment, disappointment, failure, judgment, so it creates 1,000 simulations of what might go wrong. But life isn't lived in simulations. Life is lived in movement, and movement only requires 5 minutes of courage at a time. This tiny system didn't just help me start tasks. It helped me start living differently. I began applying it to things I avoided, conversations I postponed, messages I never sent, decisions I feared committing to, dreams I left sitting on dusty shelves. 5 minutes to try. 5 minutes to begin. 5 minutes to open the door. Instead of standing outside rehearsing disaster, gradually overthinking stopped ruling my days. Not because I silenced it, but because I stopped waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect feeling, the perfect version of myself. 5 minutes turned out to be enough time to walk past fear before fear remembered to stop me. Here's the part no one tells you. Overthinking doesn't vanish when you get stronger. It vanishes when you get started. Action shrinks fear the way sunlight shrinks shadows. Not all at once, not dramatically, but predictably. And the beauty of this system is that it honors the truth we forget. You don't need to finish the journey to escape paralysis. You only need to take the first unglamorous, unheroic, humble step. 5 minutes. 5 minutes where you choose motion over rumination. 5 minutes where you accept that trying is better than waiting for clarity. 5 minutes where you let the world be imperfect and yourself be human. That's all it takes for the mind to remember a forgotten rule. Fear only wins if you stand still. So if today you're sitting in your own mental gridlock, staring at something you know you need to do, but can't seem to begin, try it, not tomorrow. Not when motivation strikes. Not when life feels quieter. Now set aside 5 minutes. Promise nothing except the willingness to begin. And watch how the walls inside your mind soften, tilt, and finally let you pass. You don't need a new life. You need a new moment. A moment small enough that your fear can't argue with it. The 5-minute system isn't a trick. It's a doorway back to motion, back to clarity, back to the version of yourself you keep hoping to become. And all of it starts with something simple: a quiet breath, a small decision, a gentle beginning, 5 minutes. That's all. The rest of your life is waiting on the other side.